Out.
Jasmine Paolini is a true 21st century child of the world. Her dad from Italy. She was born in Tuscany. Her mom, half Ghana, half Poland. And Paolini, when she was young, every year made a trip to see mom's family. She spent time in Poland. When you think about it, Coco, that what she came close to doing this year, mirroring what a couple of players ahead of her from Italy, Schiavone, who was around a long time and a good player, and then hit the jackpot one year, winning Roland Garros, and then Flavia, same thing, hit the jackpot, winning here.
It definitely did, and don't forget about Vinci, who took down Serena to also get into that final. The Italian tennis is definitely moving upwards, both on the men's and women's side. Paolini, a gold medalist in Paris this year with fellow countrywoman Sarah Ronnie.
Andreescu wastes away that second.
14-15.
I say this, Coco, one thing when I talk to people in other sports who ask about tennis all the time, and I say, of course, the athletic ability of these pros shouldn't need to be explained. But I said, just think of what they do. So Paolini, for example, as you see, Renzo Furlan himself was a very good player and a successful coach. They went from clay in the spring to the 1 month of the year that you play on grass. There's Sara Errani, who won today. Unbelievable. Inspiring all of you to pick your racket up and play again.
Not me.
Not you.
Me. You can take my rackets, Ted.
But you think clay to grass, and then back to clay for the Olympics for a week, and now try to hurry up and do an accelerated hard court prep to come here and play. No other sport asks its athletes to do that.
No, you can maybe make the slight comparison of a doubleheader in baseball where you have to go back-to-back nights and test your body, but it's different when you hit different surfaces. Just the stress and the wear and tear, and for how long we do it. It's basically from just pretty much Christmas till all the way in about Halloween time. We play nonstop, and that's not including the off-season training. So I used to have maybe 2 weeks that I would give myself to rest, recover, and then do it all over again and join the madness of this circus. Those combinations for Bianca Andreescu, first serve, first ball, and just being aggressive, opening up the court, controlling the middle of the court is going to be so huge for her to be successful against Paolini. She gets into these longer extended rallies. It definitely favors Paolini, even though Andreescu is very quick, very nimble around the court.
Right, Andreescu has a calm hold in her first game.
1 game on first set.
And a nice look around this historic stadium with the court that was the championship quarter for years. Things are so close here, as they have been forever. You'll often be able to hear the coaching that's offered. Could hear it pretty clearly on multiple occasions last night.
Out. 15 all.
It's Bianca Andreescu's parents right there.
She gave them a terrific salute, didn't she, in the Players Tribune piece?
Oh, she did.
Parents, immigrants from Romania, thorough support. Well, that's pretty good persistence. Andreescu.
15-13.
And Bianca just hanging tough in the middle of the court, inside the baseline throughout that whole rally. That's where she wants to be living throughout this whole match. Really just take it to Paolini, making Paolini feel like she can't breathe out there in these hard physical rallies. Especially on these second serves. Bianca Andreescu needs to step in and attack, put extra pressure.
Ooh, did it there. And Andreescu has the first break chances.
And it's a bit of scoreboard pressure there. She's up 15-30 in the Paolini service game. Even if it wasn't that good of a return, which that second serve return was not that great from Andreescu, it's just the scoreboard pressure on top of it, forcing Paolini to come up with something spectacular. It's not easy to do when you're facing Bianca Andreescu and her speed and power from the back of the court.
Wow, and Andreescu strikes first. Quick break of serve in the lead. All right, Andreescu now trying to back up the break of serve. Yeah.
15.
Okay, she's going to meditate on that and say, mistake. Meditate, say, no.
That's one of those where you got to laugh it off.
Yes.
You'll notice Paolini giving herself a lot of space to return these first serves from Andreescu. Good 3-4 feet behind the baseline. It's not that Andreescu has that big of a serve, it's just that Paolini's getting rushed so quickly off that first ball from Bianca, it's hard for her to catch up. So by giving herself a couple steps back behind the baseline, she's able to get back neutral, hopefully, and get into these rallies.
Let's see where she stands on the second. Coming in a little bit. Yeah. Her runs earlier, both Paris and Wimbledon this year, you saw her be back a lot on second serves.
Yeah, and
Give her tough time, right?
Absolutely. She definitely needs the time, as quick and as athletic as she is. She is 5'4", and is not going to pack that big of a punch to get a player like Bianca Andreescu on the defensive. So she's moving back to give herself time to manage the bigger shots from Bianca Andreescu, to let the court kind of suck up the pace a little bit so she can get into these extended rallies, make this match become pretty physical out here.
Straightforward hold there. So Andreescu backs up her break. You must have played Cibulkova a bunch, right?
I played her, I know for sure once in Tokyo.
Okay.
But yes,
Because
she was a nightmare to play for me.
That's what I was going to ask. So I've been around too long. I go back, as you see, the official U.S. Open website to follow all the action, usopen.org, as well as joining in the conversation on social, #US Open. But I've been around long enough. Amanda Kutzer was the first player.
Never played her. Never.
No,
played
I know that. I know that. But at 5 foot barely was a top 10 player. I mean, managed to succeed is what I'm at, where I'm getting at. Then it became Cibulkova. That was the same thing, about 5 foot maybe, and was a very good player.
It's a tough player, and she did similarly to Paolini. Gave herself a lot of space to be able to run down that extra ball.
And that's what I was going to get at. So the beauty, to me, this is a tennis baseball comp. It's baseball. The beauty of baseball is you don't have to be. You can be any size. You don't have to be fast necessarily, as long as you have something that's a strength, right? You can succeed.
To be a professional in tennis, you need an intangible. It's better if you have 2, if you have 3 intangibles out there, and usually you see the best in the world have quite a few. They can almost have 5 intangibles out there, but for Paolini, she's been able to get away with kind of her stature and lack of pace and power, and counteract that with speed and being able to spread out the court, getting her opponents not only moving side to side, but up and back.
Oop, it's there. Paolini holds it level. Continue on that. It's 3-2. Andreescu with a break up here in the opening set.
By 3 games to 2 for sets.
And the math is simple to do. If you're in the top 100, that's a $400,000 start to your year. Right? You're in all 4 majors.
And we fund everything ourselves, tennis players. Obviously, there are federations out there that can help with the funding, but usually I would say a vast majority, 80% of players are self-funded.
So let's get back to the Paolini story. With Cibulkova. So you said what made Cibulkova so frustrating to play?
Well, her backhand was rock solid. That was also true, and I hate to dog Cibulkova but her serve was so bad it was good. You know, it was so slow and so low, and had just not that much spin to it.
So I remember it was flat. That's what I remember.
It was just hard to deal with.
Okay.
Because you had to generate everything yourself. You didn't know if you should stand in on the baseline, if you should return in a regular stance.
Yeah, Paolini gave herself a little more room on that stance, return stance, and a double fault. Ooh.
15-13.
Wow. Back-to-back gifts.
And that's a big error from Paolini. Just were served 2 double faults. You have to make the return. It doesn't have to be good, but you can't let Bianca Andreescu off the hook like that. You have to do everything in your power to just get that return back in play.
Well, there it is. So now, can you survive 2 double faults in a game? It's hard. Andreescu needs to win this point.
Yes.
See Andreescu really taking her time throughout this service game. You know, all part of her process of making sure she has a clear mindset of what she's going to do.
Advantage, Andreescu.
Andreescu doing a lot better job of getting herself up forward and accelerating on this forehand. She's pushed a couple of forehands throughout this game. Just a little bit of nerves and lack of confidence when you see someone decelerate on a certain shot.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow, that one wasn't terribly close. 3 doubles in the game. It's hard to have amnesia in the middle of the game, isn't it?
You do your best.
Yeah. Oh, that helped. Good mix-up on the serve there.
Yeah, that was a great out wide serve. And you can see Paolini moving backwards to try to catch up to that angle. That's only going to spell disaster. Whenever you're getting beat out wide, you have to move at an angle forward, because otherwise it just leaves so much of the court open, even if you do get that return back in play.
And it's hard to imagine is where Paolini's stands to return serve. It's hard to imagine she has to move backwards.
I know, right? You would think she would be just fine, but that just is credit to how good of a serve that was from Andreescu in the previous point.
There you go. That's 110, and that's her best bolt so far. Second ace. Well, you'd say that you see the length of game. The tennis gods are making Andreescu pay for 3 double faults here, saying it's not easy to hold when you do that.
Certainly isn't. The one ace does neutralize in this service game. One of the double faults, so she's searching for one more ace just to make it even, pay her tide.
Advantage, Andreescu.
Here Andreescu scolding herself to focus, which is more surprising to me that at 3-2 you've already lost your focus enough to not close out a service game. Usually, as we saw even last night, Sloane Stephens up 6-0, 4-1, kind of lose her focus a little bit and ended up losing that match.
Rescue. Had it right there. Instead,
Deuce.
will be the 5th deuce of the game.
Just a bit sloppy with the transition, a little slow off the mark of unsure if she was going to come forward and take the ball out of the air or let the ball bounce. And then trying to make it all up by swinging at that volley. A lot can go wrong when you start to get an extended backswing on a volley. Short and compact is the key to a good volley.
Advantage, Paolini.
Wow. Well, there is a tennis commandment. 4 double faults in a game, thou shalt not hold.
3 in all for sets.
So Paolini gets it back level. The one noticeable from her runs in Roland Garros and Wimbledon this year,
At the back of the players, take your seats quickly, please.
you're not going to hear Forza,
Thank
Forza,
you.
Forza. Italian chants, boy, the Italian fans were so supportive of her both in Paris and in London. And what we're seeing is this new policy at the US Open this year with fans being able to come down even game right behind Paolini, take seats.
How do you feel
Players are
about
playing
that?
on.
15.
I have no problem at all. I mean, I'm a huge person in believing the customer's always right.
Absolutely, I agree
I just
with you.
mean the players are playing on is what I'm surprised about in the lower bowl when they're moving.
You know what? I think people have paid enough money for a ticket. They should watch every point.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And it's all tennis players are creatures of habits. And after the first round, sure, it might kind of take your eye off of things a little bit, but come second, third round and in the second week, us players will have definitely forgotten all about it.
And he was in this stadium where I often saw another before your time, and I give him his due, a great player, Ivan Lendl. Made 8 straight finals here, by the way. It's one of the most unrecognized great achievements in tennis. He made 8 straight finals here, but Ivan Lendl would not play if somebody was in the top row of the stadium moving. He would not play.
No wonder he got into golf. You know, you needed more peace and quiet and serenity.
And back then, that was kind of the standard. Nobody moved. So anyway, that's the movement this year. This new policy was communicated to all the players prior to the U.S. Open, to their teams. So the players should be prepared for that.
Yeah, Stacey Allister made an announcement, I believe, during Cincinnati. 3 straight missed returns from Bianca Andreescu after being up love 30 in this service game of Paolini's. Just a little bit too quick in the airs. Gotta make the server earn their stripes, especially when they're not a big server.
Paolini mixes one in.
And you'll probably see the most double faults from both these players in this first round, playing on a stadium court at night. These aren't conditions that we are used to as players. Most of the time we practice during the day and out on the outside courts where we're not seeing all these bars and beams and different things. And you lose your depth perception as a player. And especially at night, it's almost accentuated more.
That's interesting. Depth perception. I've not heard that before.
Yeah, when you throw it up in the dark sky and you're trying to find the ball in and out of it, it's not the easiest. And I always try to get a good practice in at night if I knew I was on a night session, just so I could kind of get used to it. Just as much as I wanted to get on the court I was going to play on. You know, it's all about getting used to your surroundings. You know, acting like you've been there before.
Rescue. Waste that away. To your point, Coco, is interesting. Yesterday, Coco Gauff, defending champ, did not play at night. She asked to play in the day. Was okay with it. Tomorrow, 90-plus degree day, she's playing at night.
Oh, for sure. For sure. As when you are the top American, you definitely get your choice of where, when, and how you want to play, especially at the U.S. Open. And I also would give a little bit of a fact to Coco Gauff's recent form of not wanting to have the spotlight of opening night on Ash, of just, all right, let's get out there during the day session, get this first round under our belt and move forward. I think that was a big key in the decision making from her team.
Rescue frustrated there. And it's funny because Tiafoe's playing in the day tomorrow. 20 shirts won't be enough.
Nike's going to have to bring down a 20 more. Go to the shops, the local shops in here, and maybe get one of the Ball Cruise shirts.
What a spot there. Hit by Paolini.
I had a funny moment actually in qualies. I ran out of shoes. I had soaked them through, and so I had to have Kathy Rinaldi, who is head of the women's department for the USTA, throw me down an extra pair of socks because I'd sweat through everything.
Wow, Andreescu just must have caught the intersection of sideline and baseline. Well, a long pair of games here. All this is Paolini trying to back up the break that levels the set. Well, it was a 5-deuce game. Andreescu finally dropped her serve.
Advantage, Andreescu.
This is 4 deuces, and now the second break chance for Andreescu. Well, that was a interesting, intriguing pair of games.
Andreescu leads by 4
Long games, and the
3.
players trade
First set.
breaks. It's Andreescu back up. Wild card given to
New ball.
Andreescu. Stan Wawrinka's playing right now. He was also getting wild card. Dominic Thiem yesterday.
15 love.
And right now in the grandstand, speaking of U.S. Open champ, Emma Raducanu, and what a fascinating first round. Sofia Kenin. That match is just underway on grandstand court.
Love.
Intriguing little section there. The Raducanu-Kenin winner will play the winner of tonight's match between Pegula and Shelby Rogers.
Shelby Rogers' last U.S. Open. We saw Danielle Collins go out earlier today. It's her last U.S. Open as well. She went out to Caroline Dullahide.
Well, that gets the biggest response of this first set.
She's a bit lucky here.
Yeah.
Better lucky than good sometimes.
15.
You saw Bianca kind of laugh it off.
Yeah. Do that again.
Bounce back over the net.
See, that's the kind of point that got me asking you all those questions earlier about how a player of this size succeeds. Man, she had some power on Paolini did when that ball pinned.
She can get some
Andreescu
good
right
pop
on the baseline,
on that forehand. But it's how many times in a row. There's easy power and then there's difficult power. We talk about easy power in Sabalenka, Rybakina.
Coco Vanderway.
I'm retired. I don't. It's not easy power for me anymore.
Paolini there moving Andreescu and gets the game to deuce.
And that's what I mentioned earlier that Paolini needs to do to be successful against Andreescu is open up the court, spread Andreescu around. Don't let her control the middle of the court. As quick and Andreescu can slide into balls. It's not where she wants to be living all day.
Advantage. Andreescu.
Great transition work, and that's what got her to be so successful before the COVID break, where she got to 5 in the world. Bianca Andreescu was so quick off the mark to move forward, just so fearless about it, so sure of herself. She's trying to find that same mojo again.
Boy, that's twice in the game. The same ball moving Andreescu to the forehand.
It's a bit of cat and mouse because Andreescu goes more of a kick out wide. And because Paolini is so far back, she has time to be able to redirect down the line. If Paolini was up closer to the baseline, she wouldn't have that same time to be able to change direction like that. So Andreescu needs to kind of play this cat and mouse game of, okay, you're taking a few steps back. I'm not going to kick it. Maybe I'll pop one out wide if I still want to go out wide.
Yeah, now a chance for a third consecutive break. Long games.
You got this, man. Come on. Keep sprinting here.
Humid night. May highlight the importance, emphasize the importance of this first set.
You heard Andreescu's coach saying, look for that T serve here. Let's see if she listens.
Let's start.
She did listen.
Yes,
Does that mean
twice.
coach gets a second pitch called now? That's a smart coaching move. It's hard for Bianca to not want to go to her favorite serve, which is the out wide serve. But Paolini's been successful
Yes.
with the two backhands line. So, okay, it might go against your grain, but you've got to change up the pitching.
And this game,
Advantage Paolini.
every other game, of course, it's set up like this, but here Andreescu just walked over to her towel and she was able to be directly spoken to by her coach.
Chair umpire's been very generous with the shot clock, I will say.
Andreescu stepping in.
Handling that deep ball from Paolini so well. Andreescu getting low. But again, look how quickly she moved forward to short hop that ball in the middle of the court.
Advantage Andreescu.
I love that forehand cross exchange. I think that's a great play.
For Andreescu?
For Andreescu. Instead of going into the Paolini backhand, because when Paolini is moving off the middle to find her forehand and start going inside out, inside in, Bianca's been getting groped around.
This has been 4 grinding games here. Look at how long this one, creeping up on 10 minutes. We've had 14 deuces now in the last 3 games.
Advantage.
Better them than us,
Andreescu.
I'll say that.
There you go. Ready for ball 3 here. Come on.
Talking about the comp with tennis and baseball, they put a limit on mound visits in baseball now. Not in tennis. Every time you go to that towel. And there it is. Andreescu holds. Man, that's a cherished hold.
Andreescu wins by
5-3.
5-3. First set.
The physicality in these last 3-4 games. It's going to pay dividends for whoever captures this first set, because that momentum of grinding out these last couple games and securing that first set is going to be so huge for whoever's able to accomplish it.
And then, Coco, you think to the Wimbledon semifinal.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Paolini,
At the back of the players.
Djokovic.
Thank you.
Every other point looked like she was going to collapse. Pain and agony, and Paolini, oh, I'll play 3 more sets, no problem.
Sometimes you gotta have a good poker face. Now that forehand came off with some juice. How she steps forward into the court a little bit there, coming off of her feet to nail that forehand.
Little tricks of the trade when you're that size, right? Come on. How she walks into her serve, as you see. Whoa! A laser pass.
A bit of a poor approach from Paolini. Didn't get Andreescu moving too far, especially going into the backhand of Andreescu. She's so solid off of that wing.
She's just about 40% now on second serves. Only serving 42% overall. That's
when you're throwing in a second serve somewhere in the 70s on your best moment. That's just far too many looks for an accomplished player like Bianca Andreescu to see.
okay. What a moment this could be. Andreescu set point, and if you win this, you serve first in the second set.
I think with how physical these last couple of games have gone, Andreescu would love to break for the set instead of trying to serve it out. It was a very brave forehand, not easy to time. Andreescu going to the moon ball here to try to change the pace. Paolini stepping up, able to generate such a good depth, good pop to the ball.
Advantage, Paolini.
You just wonder a little bit with Paolini is all the success that she's kind of been thrusted upon her by getting to the finals of both Roland Garros and Wimbledon. Has she kind of reached her boiling point of exhaustion within this sport? I mean, she hasn't had crazy good success during the summer hardcourt swing. As long and grueling as our sport is,
Yeah.
you hit your limit at some point, even though you try to get up for a Grand Slam and try to play your best. She went out in the round of 16 to Mira Andreeva, young 16-year-old, in 3 tough sets. Olympics went out in the round of 16.
That's what you say. Went out in singles, but did stay in.
Yes.
Won the gold in doubles, so was there for a while.
And she's been playing singles and doubles in every event.
And there's the hold for Paolini. So it is going to put the task of closing out the set onto Andreescu's serve.
Andreescu leads by 5 games to 4 for set.
No, not her.
Okay.
Most matches played.
Well, Iga Swiatek.
She's second.
Okay.
So you were close.
My next guess would be Sabalenka, but you said you were surprised
She's
at
third.
it. Oh my gosh.
You're all around it.
Oh, this is easy. Danielle Collins. Not that easy. Okay.
Emma Navarro. Emma Navarro's played the most matches on WTA tours this year.
Makes sense.
I would not. Yeah, and it does when you think about it. I would not have guessed it though.
No. I'm out for trivia night.
Andreescu lost her grip on her serve earlier in the set. Yeah, it's a break there. She's won. Andreescu, when she's put her second serve in play, she's won 8 out of 9. That's crazy. She's won 8 of 9 when she's put it in. 5 doubles.
That's a bit of the double skills from Jasmine Paolini. Staying cool and calm under pressure with this volley, but such a great change of pace there with the forehand and being aggressive when it mattered. You can see how compact that forehand volley is. Keeps the ball out in front. Racket head stays pretty still throughout. Almost had the cameraman juked out. Andreescu really slowing down the pace of this service game, taking her time.
30.
All right, second set point. Bianca went across with that backhand.
Didn't miss by much.
Oh man, look at that. By a millimeter or two, Paolini's still in the set.
That was the longest rally of the match, 14 shots. I just wonder where Bianca Andreescu's physical fitness is at, having known that she hasn't been playing that consistently, has been dealing with numerous amounts of injuries. It's a very different thing of match fitness versus being out on the practice court for hours or in the gym for hours.
Something she candidly wrote about in her Players Tribune piece was playing through in that marvelous 2019, her breakthrough year, playing through telltale signs and pain and injury until she finally wrote. He said, my body couldn't handle it.
Happens to the best of us. And that out wide service just killing Bianca Andreescu. It's giving Paolini too much time back there, only coming in at 95 miles an hour. Just sits up that little bit. That's such a tough thing for a player to go away from your favorite plays when they're not being successful.
Andreescu's forehand will give her another chance.
Ted, would you say out of all the athletes that you've met that we're stubborn creatures?
That tennis players are.
Or just athletes in general?
Oh, absolutely.
You could just specify.
Well, I've referred to it more as champion's arrogance.
I like that.
Right.
So let's see if her champion's arrogance makes her go wide again, or she's going to change it up and go T.
Well, she did mix it up because there's the collision. Champion's arrogance versus Einstein. And the definition of insanity, right?
Yes.
Two near misses from Andreescu on set points. And so the story of this set continues. It has just been, you can see it's over an hour. We have had a lot of long games, a lot of points. This will be the 90th point of the opening set. How about Paolini getting where she got that return?
That's just unreal. It's one of those where you just say, too good. Do it again.
set points gone for Andreescu.
Five games all, first set.
And that was the closest to a forza that we've heard so far from Paolini.
Lap 15.
And both players need to do a little bit of a reset here. That was a very intense, emotional game. Just calming yourself down, getting that heart rate back down.
Rescue.
30-15.
Second one of those in the set.
I would have loved to have seen her take that return and come in. Float it a bit. Just give yourself such a clear picture of what to do.
Paolini, well-documented story of her 2024 has been that better movement, focus, the training she's put into that.
You just never know when it's going to be your week or 2 weeks for a Grand Slam. And Jasmine Paolini has even said candidly, if someone had told her at the start of this year that she would be a two-time finalist in a Grand Slam, she would have said, "You're crazy."
Yeah, the live odds on that would have been fascinating. Yeah.
That she would kind of run away with the set. Had the couple of set points on Paolini's service game, had a few more on her own. Now she's chasing.
And with this set having gone past an hour, if you lose it, you think, okay, can I play 3 hours? That's what's would likely take. That's the first near miss. Look at Paolini's. That's what she just saw right there. Okay. See, that's the people who'll tell you everything evens up. Andreescu had won that close on a set point.
Oh. 39. Oh. 30-15.
can noticeably see how much fresher Jasmine Paolini looks. And she's moving with such just easy quickness, easy speed, easy anticipation. Where Bianca Andreescu, it looks like she's playing from behind. Not really reading the ball as well off the Paolini racket. Definitely a little bit more labored in her movement.
Crucial point there. Now Andreescu with a point for a tiebreak. But I think your description of the previous point is perfect. It's exactly what it looks like. If Paolini gets one extra ball back, huge advantage.
Yeah, it's even just absorbing pace. I mean, having the strength in your legs to be able to get low and stay low. Yeah, that when your legs are burning, those quads are burning, it's easy to pop out of shots.
Well, an hour and 11 minutes. An awful lot of deuce points. Set points saved. And the set's still not decided. It will come down to a tiebreak. We had a lot of deuces in that set, didn't we?
Lots of long extended points. There's those good old honey deuces.
So close I can almost touch one. First point to Andreescu.
We haven't seen that change of pace very often from Andreescu, using the slice to the Paolini forehand especially. Paolini has more of the heavy Western grip. It's harder to generate pace when a slice on a low ball. That just comes from the many of years of her growing up on clay courts. A clay court player usually has a bit more of a heavy Western. See how far under the racket she is there.
2-0 Andreescu again. This is a first to 7 tiebreak. Don't worry, it's only a tiebreak. Don't rush.
They paid for that front row seat. They want it.
See, I will not accept cluelessness from a paying customer, though. That's just clueless.
Let's take the first empty seat.
Oh, there you go. They're sitting on the steps. That's the thing. It's a tiebreak. Paolini gets that point back.
Tiebreakers for me are always about bravery. You don't have time to work your way back and do the 20-odd deuces that we've seen to get to this point. It's now or never.
Andreescu defended enough, but Paolini, what you keep seeing right here, the last 2 points fits to your description perfectly. She's showing energy.
Lots of energy.
Showing fight.
I mean, just look at the way she's walking to her towel.
Exactly.
You can just feel the buzzing. You can see it all over her. Just a buzzing of energy. For Bianca on the other side is slow to the uptake. Her head's kind of down. Just the energy. Where Paolini is like a boxer waiting in her corner.
She shines in body language. All right, so it is 3-all as they change sides.
3-all.
Underdog through and through in this match.
Still on serve.
4-3.
So Andreescu did respond there, held both of her service points. Whoa! 100 miles an hour, but the perfect spot for her second ace. Time for that.
That was a tired shot right there.
Paolini.
See a miss like that from the middle of the court. And Andreescu's better wing. And the way she missed it was just poor footwork. Ball got too close to her. She fell away off of the ball to try and adjust. It's just tired legs right there. She needs to find a little bit of life if she's going to steal this tiebreaker.
Spot on that serve for 5-all.
5-all.
How important was that ace that Paolini hit? She's 63rd on the tour this year. And aces, I'm surprised it's that high.
I thought you were going to surprise me with like she's top 20 on the ace count.
I was thinking she might be down in the hundreds.
I was like, my goodness, am I still on the list from last year then? Is it a carryover?
Well, tired, but hanging in. Andreescu now has a set point, her 5th.
5.
One on, actually this will be the second on Paolini's serve, and 3 were in her service game. Remember, 2 of the 3 were those millimeter misses.
I'd be watching for that T serve again. That was Bianca Andreescu.
And how about that? Look at this. 80 minutes.
And she needed to hear that to know that her identity wasn't fully attached to tennis.
Lap 15.
Jasmine Paolini is shown this year. She won't go away. Then you confront the history part where this player right here, 5 years ago it was, she's had an interesting path since then, but won this championship. Jasmine Paolini has won one match in her career at the US Open.
It just shows the meteoric rise of her game. Just barely, too.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
15-13.
We get to see a close call. Not quite on. There you go. Enough distance.
It looked a lot closer from our sky view.
It did.
For Jasmine Paolini here, she needs to get her emotions in check. She is fiery. She does definitely go up and down. Usually we'll see her smiling and more positive. She's got to show Andreescu that she's here for the long haul. That ball just landing a bit too short in the court, Andreescu, and just not able to withstand the pace of Paolini's ball. And that's what we were touching on earlier. It's just a little bit tired in the legs, not able to hold her ground and get that momentum going forward into the court.
Boy, Andreescu's going to feel a lot more tired if she can't win this point. See, she came out to start this game with a little hop, you could tell, after winning the tiebreak. Ooh. Paolini jumps on the second serve and breaks to start the second set.
First game, second set.
Donna Vekic has brought her gold medal with her. Didn't want to leave it at home for 5 days. She said it's in her safe in her hotel.
Whoa.
I don't know if I trust that either.
Yeah.
I think the best story is Bob and Mike. Mike was taking his gold medal around. So it was a bit of a chick magnet back in the day. And it got beat up, and then he swapped it.
I can understand. Walking. Hey, do you have one of these? I didn't think so.
I thought the best part of the story was once it got beat up, because he was showing it to so many people, and then it was getting, banged around, that he went and swapped it with Bob's. And Bob's like, what the heck just happened here?
I hope they do it, or someone else should write a book about the stories of those two together, those kind of twin stories. They seem to be endless. But it's impossible to come away with, from every Olympics, you see tennis now, and you see what it means to people, not necessarily American athletes, I noticed that, but athletes in other countries. And of course, Djokovic, I mean, that was such a genuine reaction he had to winning. The only tennis match I ever had the chance to call in the Olympics was at Wimbledon, the gold medal match. And I've long thought the difference when Andy Murray beat Roger Federer to win the Olympic gold, they threw the flag down and he ran around the court with the Union Jack on his shoulders. And he did a high five on the lap. And then they, of course, do the medal ceremony, raised the flag, and played God Save the Queen. 40-15 here. The next year, he wins Wimbledon for the first time. And it's harumphing and the formal royal ceremony. And there's no joy to it. It was so different. It was a true national moment when he won the Olympic gold.
There is something different to play for your country, not only at the Olympics, Davis Cup, and Billie Jean King Cup. It's such pride because throughout the whole season, you play for yourself. Yes, we have USA next to our name, or Italy or Canada for these two players, but at the end of the day, we are just playing for our last names. It's one of those things that, as tennis players, we are able to play for our country so few and far between that it just means so much to us if we do choose to play in those Billie Jean King Cup or Davis Cup or Olympic events. You see so many players falter that are big names that you see win or contend for Grand Slams falter in those moments a lot of times.
I know we had, again, there were a fair number of American tennis players who chose not to play in the Olympics for the tennis reasons. And I'll just finish by saying this. My flight home 2 weeks ago from Paris, I think it's on the plane, Steph Curry, with the gold medal around his neck. Now, he has, what, 17 championship rings, I think? But you could see that the gold medal meant something.
And that was his first Olympics, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, well, this set right here in danger of very early slipping away from Andreescu.
I don't want to be a pessimist, but you get down a double break here, you almost, if you're Bianca Andreescu, want to be saying, okay, we're moving on to the third set. Conserve energy where you can and just fight for the third. Because right now it's a bit of a runaway train. Showing a bit of life in those legs here. And a smart play by Paolini, testing Andreescu, see if she's willing to dig out a tough point.
Paolini breaks twice, and what a statement. Paolini shaking off immediately, dropping the tie break. Double break up in the second. Eventually won by Andreescu in a tie break, and Paolini has come out 14 minutes and basically grabbed the second set. Now it's just don't fumble.
She looks like a woman on a mission throughout this whole second set. No nonsense, just straight back to work. Now that's a crazy stat.
Yes.
Average serve game duration, Andreescu 3 minutes and 29 seconds. And just over a minute for Jasmine Paolini. Just shows how efficient Paolini has been in this set. So physically tough.
Well, I think your experience came through here. I would say Andreescu's in conserve mode.
Even her coach telling her to keep it short.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you do want to feel good about yourself. Yes, the engine is running on empty, but you want to just have some good feel-good moments throughout this second set.
Don't forget, stay connected to the U.S. Open. All the social platforms you see there. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open. What would the best body language of anybody you played? When you looked across and went, dang, don't you get tired? Don't you get angry? Don't you mope?
I gotta think about that.
I've long felt the greatest body language athlete I've ever seen in any sport is Rafa Nadal. Absolute gold standard. But the more I see Paolini this year, the more I'm impressed on that front with her. Really good. So this set's 20 minutes. And now Paolini trying to put a quick cap to this, and let's get to the decider.
secret stuff. It's
Yeah,
even
that's what it
simpler
was, okay.
than secret sauce.
Okay, not so fast.
Prolonging the inevitable.
Yes. Rescue. Mixed in an odd time there to break serve.
That's a feel-good game.
Yeah.
I'm not getting skunked out here.
Yeah. It would have been more beneficial for her about 15 minutes ago, but think of where tennis was 5 years ago, the year that Andreescu exploded in Canada. You had Andreescu, you had Shapovalov, and you had Auger Aliassime arriving on the scene. All three young Canadian players. And there was a common denominator, which was all three were products of families that emigrated from other countries to Canada and were welcomed. 2 years later, mix in Leylah Fernandez. Same story, 4 of them. Shapovalov lost today. Auger Aliassime lost today. Fernandez lost today.
The Canadians that are listening are not liking what you're saying right now.
Because they're I understand, because they're frustrated. They had such great hopes for this group of tennis players. And that's why you can never count on anything.
Sports are fickle that way.
Rescue hanging in. All right, we'll get a mulligan here for Paolini in a minute. Let's try to close out the set. Well, Bianca Andreescu is whether Paolini holds the finish the set here or not, has not had to expend a ton of energy in this second set. So that's the light at the end of her tunnel, if indeed we end up in a third set.
15 love.
I think of 4 people right now. I'm thinking of Jess Pegula, Shelby Rogers, Tommy Paul, and Lorenzo Sonego. The 4 of them are sitting in the locker room dealing with what is a U.S. Open tradition.
Being that second night match.
Late night match and the agony of not knowing when you're going to get on.
15 all.
Been there, done that. I think my latest finish here was about 2:45. It was actually on Old Grandstand. I had to wait for a 5-setter that Verdasco played. And I was to play Sabine Lisicki afterwards. Verdasco played, gosh, almost a 6-hour 5-setter. Meanwhile, Sabine waxed me in about an hour 10.
So you're telling me your after midnight record is not great?
That's a good. I have one good win after midnight that comes to my head. Actually, 2, and they're both against Sam Stosur.
Wow.
Once in Miami and once in Australia.
Paolini got that, so now she'll have 2 set points.
14-15.
And there it is. So took an extra 10 minutes, but Paolini squares the match. Paolini, 1 match in her life that she's won here, and she's the 5 seed.
The more you say it, the crazier it sounds.
Amen.
See Bianca Andreescu shaking out her legs. It's been about 6 minutes since the last point was played. She's got to do everything in her power to get that lactic acid out of her legs as much as she can. She's going to be in a good amount of pain for as long as this 3rd set has to take. Jasmine Paolini needs to make Bianca Andreescu feel that pain as quickly as possible. Extend these rallies, get Bianca Andreescu moving side to side, up and back. Stay in these service games as much as you can.
One thing Andreescu in the 2nd set didn't win very much, as you can see by the scoreline, but she also didn't deal with the 2nd fault problem. She had 5, or double fault rather. She had 5 of them in the 1st set.
And that's a perfect example right there of Paolini extending that point.
You can do this, B. You can do this.
She's still pacing around. It's like a hunter waiting to pounce.
Andreescu.
It's one number I'm just a little surprised. I don't know if you are, Coco. Andreescu, when she's put her first serve in, it's only winning 54%. Is that to Paolini's return?
Here we go.
It's a space that Paolini has given herself on the return to serve stance, but also, like you were saying, it's the stubbornness of a champion. Bianca's been a bit stubborn in her serve placement.
Saw that little note, so she's put 2/3 of her first serves in, which is why it's interesting to me that she's only winning just barely half of the points.
That's the predictability of that serve. Both wings, both courts, she's not getting many free points because she's going out wide to the Paolini backhand on the ad side, and on the deuce side, she's been pretty predictable of body and wide out here. And let's not forget, Paolini is the 5th seed. She's number 5 in the world. She's too good to be doing stuff that's that predictable. You see another out wide serve from Andreescu.
Advantage Andreescu.
As a player at any level, when you see your opponents take a couple steps back behind the baseline, it's really hard to beat them on the out wide serves because they have so much room to be able to catch up. You want to go more body or tee on those serves just so they don't have any angles to hit into. Bianca's serve does land pretty deep in the box. She doesn't get that short of an angle when she does try to go out wide.
All right, well, there's the first double since the first set. She had 5 in the first set, 4 of them in one game. And she almost held.
Advantage Andreescu.
That's a way better first serve placement into the body of Paolini. Paolini jamming herself up, essentially choosing to hit the backhand. This is a must-win service game for Andreescu. Almost at 7 minutes here.
There it is. Well, that game reflected more of the first set.
We saw plenty of those types of games in the first set. The hard-fought, long, extended deuce, add points. It's just how many of those games can...
And this allows fans to come in. That's my point. Not the full minute and a half, but just a 60-second.
You have my vote just on that policy alone.
Yeah, just to let this happen.
I'm not entirely sure that ball was going to go in. A bit of a miscue from Jasmine Paolini. Hawkeye would know better than I would, but it certainly didn't look like it.
Well. A little early opening for Andreescu.
Just a little bit too passive throughout this whole point, Paolini. It's very much similar to the first set of hoping that Andreescu would produce an air instead of being a bit more aggressive, being a bit braver, especially off that forehand wing.
Both these players have
15,
good career records in the deciding sets, 3 setters. Andreescu, and again, this is part of how you be a champion. She's basically 2-1, 45-23. Her career record in the 3rd set.
Amazing depth there on that forehand. Getting back into those forehand-to-forehand cross-court exchanges, Andreescu. That's where she's going to find success against Paolini. Just pinning her into that wing. Paolini does such a better job when she's taking the forehand on the backhand side. More of an inside-out, inside-in play.
Forehand.
Both those points, 2 forehand return errors. Paolini has been going out wide on the deuce, tee on the ad when the points really count, using that slice serve. If you're Andreescu, you have to bait Paolini into the out wide serve here. Just give her some sort of look, something to think about. She's been hitting that tee serve so well, it really curls away from Bianca Andreescu. That's a very big gift right there.
That is. Well, the match is that right. Paolini's won 58% on her 2nd serve. Andreescu whacks away in frustration.
1 game on final set.
3 chances gone, and so it's 1-all. Nice little exhale for Paolini.
I don't want to harp on it too much, but it is a bit of a ticking time bomb of how long can Bianca Andreescu stay in this match physically. It was very blaring in the second set that she had fallen off immensely in the physicality department. When you're running on fumes, it's definitely a ticking time bomb out there.
Paolini, look at her reaction. She crept in, tried to take that second and missed.
That was probably the slowest and shortest second serve that Paolini's seen all match. 69 miles an hour. We've seen Bianca Andreescu throughout this match in the mid 70s. It's a huge letdown. You know Paolini feels that Andreescu is falling off. The weight of her shots, the weight of her serve, is definitely slowed down.
See what.
Was she cramping?
I was going to ask, is that a turn or a cramp? And you're right about the serve. That was 102 on the first serve.
I think this is a bit of a cramp.
Got nothing turned.
Nope. She forgot the score. It's on the ad side.
Wow. Andreescu had to make that good. Paolini came close. But your point, the ticking maybe getting a little louder.
Especially if cramps start to set in. I'm surprised that the chair umpire has not started the shot clock yet.
Absolutely. I was saying this, looking at the same thing. Serve clock not showing right now on the scoreboards where you see USTA above the right shoulder. Where you did see it, that's where normally the serve clock time is. No, a miss. And what a change. In a couple of moments, Andreescu had 3 chances to break, didn't. Drops her own serve, and now in distress. Well, this is the New York night crowd now, and they can tell that Andreescu's suffering a little bit, so they're pulling for her.
you go. Point by point. Come on. One at a time.
Yep.
One at a
So
time.
now it's Paolini, who had to wait to the 6+ minutes for the set at the set break. And now the age-old tennis question: how do you deal with when you look across and you see your opponent's compromised?
Just exactly what Paolini is doing. She's up to the line, ready to go. She's moving Andreescu side to side, and now it gets to the question of, are we playing to the server's pace or are we playing to the shot clock's pace? And in fairness to Paolini, she has to, like I was saying earlier, make Andreescu hurt. And especially it's like seeing a wounded animal across the court. You have to really just take advantage of those moments and just make her feel like she has no light at the end of the tunnel.
14-15.
For Andreescu, it's almost, you have to just kind of go with a I don't care kind of attitude. You know, swing for the fences in the way, stay in the rallies you can, but go for the winners a little bit earlier than you're used to.
So Paolini is now in command here, 3-1.
Paolini leads by 3 games to 1. Final set.
Reminder to track point-by-point live scoring highlights, real-time stats, and draws at the official tournament website, usopen.org, and you can also download the app at the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, which this year adds live 3D views of all singles matches.
Next point. Next point.
Some slice. Andreescu mixed in.
13-15.
Come on. Next point. Next point. One at a time. Yes, you can.
That's all her team can do is just send her encouraging words. Keep her in this fight.
On this very court last night, Frances Tiafoe was struggling in the mugginess and was on the verge of being pushed to a 5th set. And he went over in a moment like we just saw with Andreescu, and I believe it was David Witt, the coach, just said, decide. Decide. Like right now, decide if you want this. And Tiafoe immediately broke serve and then held to win. I mean, it was amazing, but it was an interesting way to frame it. Decide. only it were that easy, huh?
If only. And touch on that point, it's when you are a top-ranked player and you've had success at Grand Slams, and both these players have certainly had great success at Grand Slams, Paolini more of late, you do have that intangible, that self-belief that I decide everything that's going on. Everything moves when I say it does. And I think that's where David Witt was more alluding to. Because you can make points just like that, flip on a dime.
Right. And I listening up here as I was, to me it was going right to the head, right? Mind over body.
Your mind can play crazy tricks, make your body do wonderful things, and it can also hamper you. Any player that's faced a situation where they're cramping in a match knows all about that. There's only one match for me that sticks out so clearly, that where I was cramping, and it was during Billie Jean King Cup, which was then Fed Cup in Hawaii. We were playing Germany. I was playing Andrea Pekovic on the second day. We were up 2-0, and I could clinch it with that match. And she beats me in that first set, and I was starting to cramp. It was really hot and humid. And it almost just went into a zone-out mode. I just cruised through the next two sets, and I was just reckless abandon, just hitting winners as I pleased.
All right.
Send that lesson down courtside. Andreescu, the 2019 U.S. Open champ. Punching the quads is not good.
It's such a tough thing for an athlete to have to deal with their body letting them down. Spend so many hours preparing. And at the biggest stage, your body falters.
Paolini, she's going to the towel here, but for the most part playing at a pretty brisk pace.
She's really been taking it to Andreescu, but Andreescu's really, I mean, like we were saying, kind of the I don't care attitude and going for it, making these points really short. And it's tough for Paolini now to keep her focused when you do see your opponent on the other side physically hampered. How do I play? Do I make them just move a little bit more? Do I take some off my shots to make sure I make it? All those thoughts cross your mind.
drops it in. And that gets earned applause and a little smile from Paolini.
Bianca Andreescu had Paolini dead to rights here throughout this rally. Not an easy volley there, but what hand skills from Paolini. Under pressure, too. That's all Bianca Andreescu needs to do is just keep within touching distance. You never know when Paolini might just blink that little bit. Get a little nervous serving to close this match out. Just stay in the fight.
Oh. 5 years ago, this player won this championship. First full year on tour. It was amazing. At the same time, Jasmine Paolini lost in the second round of qualies. This is what anybody would want to see from Andreescu. Still have fight. One break. There's a hold of love that keeps her alive. But it is Paolini at 4-3 serving in just a moment.
Time.
All right, I'm going to spare Coco Vandeweghe another trivia night. First round, 2021. Jasmine Paolini beats Yaroslava Shvedova. I knew you had that. I knew you
Obviously,
did.
obviously.
That is the only match she's ever won here.
I got another fun fact for you. Shvedova has a golden set against who?
Don't know.
Paolini's doubles partner, Sarah Ronnie.
Is that right?
At Wimbledon.
Wow.
I only know
That's
this because
excellent. You out-trivia'd me. Good job.
I only know this because I lost to a Ronnie the round before, so luckily it wasn't me. It's like the 7 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. It's where do you fall in Shvedova's corner?
During the point, looked like she moved. After the point, very slow.
It always hurts a bit more when you lose a point versus winning the point, that's for sure. I'd pay attention to that point right there. That was a quick return blitz to the net, but look how quickly Andreescu got up there. It was like the cramps aren't really affecting her anymore. Paolini better be careful. That's some good aggressive tennis. Serve coming in that slow, 69 miles an hour, middle of the box somewhat. Just being aggressive with depth.
Coco, would you say? I mean, Andreescu during the points in this game looks a little better.
I would definitely say so. Sliding into that forehand, hustling out the extra point.
Here you go. She has two cracks at breaking, and here's what may be the last best one. What a point! And Paolini has the last word.
I think Paolini should have won this a few shots earlier. Facing down break point. What a brave shot. Great athleticism. Andreescu's thinking, what do I have to do?
That was an 84-mile-an-hour first serve. Oh, double.
That was just a double forced out of the aggressiveness that Andreescu has produced out there on the returns. Paolini only winning 33% of her second serve points.
Andreescu is still alive.
Like I said, you just never know when someone's going to blink.
Now, we've all driven our cars in life when you get that reserve light flashing. And you know you better let her rip. And that game felt like she was in her reserve tank.
You mean you skipped that first gas station and you tried to make it to the next?
And Andreescu had something in the reserve tank.
Just make sure you have AAA.
She needs to hold her serve out of this. Well, 2 hours, 40 minutes in. Been a range of emotions in this one. Paolini felt pretty confident a few minutes ago that this match was hers. Not yet. Coco Vandeweghe, we're on this early. I mean, the first set of this match was 1 hour and 20 minutes long. And you had a hard time fathoming that Andreescu had 3 hours in her. Well, she's coming darn close to proving it.
That's why I said that first set for Bianca was going to be so important.
Paolini right back with 2 looks.
And this is all just match toughness that Paolini has developed in the 2 last Grand Slams that she has played, getting to the finals, knowing that she knows how to win in these tricky situations.
Players had 1 break in this set. As has been the story for Paolini 2024, she looks like she's barely broken. She could play another couple hours, no problem, and Andreescu has been battling her body in this 3rd set. Paolini scorches a winner and breaks back. She started this 3rd in physical distress, had physio treat her just during changeovers, no medical timeout. And at 4-3, Paolini serving, Bianca kind of dug into that reserve tank and broke. But Paolini answered and now serves for just her second ever win at the U.S. Open. And for those who didn't enjoy our little trivia, the only match she's ever won here, 2021, first round against the infamous Yaroslava Shvedova. So many contrasts in this match, but 5 years ago when that woman stunned everybody by beating Serena Williams to win this championship. Bianca Andreescu, Jasmine Paolini lost in the second round of qualies.
And after 2 hours and 47 minutes, Jasmine Paolini gets her first match point.
Fates have brought these two together. The third straight Grand Slam they've met. Astounding. And Paolini's won all three.
I think that's what Bianca Andreescu is telling her. I don't want to see you in the first round anymore. What a great match from Jasmine Paolini. Just staying calm after losing that tough fought first set. Just righting the ship, getting back to work. Weathering the storm. That's Bianca Andreescu.